we've lined up the top stars from Hollywood and from all over the world to entertain you on our giant screen with a few colorful motion pictures you've been hearing about and reading
It's
about.
showtime, folks. Enjoy the show.
We're delighted to have you with us. They're driving theater.
You'll find something to please you to add to your evening's enjoyment.
Is pleased to bring you our feature presentation.
Yo, 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 yo! What's going on, everybody? We're back up in the studio. We've had our snow break. This is the Drive-In Speakerbox. New episode, was this the 22nd of February? What are we doing?
Yeah, that's how you say words, for sure.
February. But yeah, we're back up here in the studio. We did have a little bit of a break due to inclement weather, but we are back in the studio, and we're joined with our buddy Dave Calhoun again. The man, the myth, the legend. He's another film production guy. He's actually in town on another shoot. Dave and I actually hung out all day on set of a shoot that neither of us had anything to do with.
Shoot. So we sat there and watched them work while we didn't work.
Yeah, it was super weird. They were renting out my space as a location, and Dave here was staying basically right across the street for a shoot tomorrow. And we did it up. But anyway, I'm your host, Bo, the boom operator.
And I am Jake the Grip.
And as you just heard, we've got Dave here in the studio again. And yeah, like I said, we're going to be talking about movies for the next hour-ish. So yeah, it's going to be a day. We're gonna talk about movies, even though I didn't see any movies over the weekend.
I watched a couple of movies that are newer. They were like very limited theater release, but a lot of at home. I watched Greenland and Love and Monsters.
Oh, how was Greenland?
Well, we'll get to it.
Oh,
Wow, yeah.
I'm ready.
Because they're like newer, and they were like those $20 home releases, but now they're not $20. So
right.
I can justify it.
Hang on. Technical difficulties. Yeah, let's get this. All right, you say words.
Words?
There we go.
Mine's gone.
Better words. Is Jake gone?
Yeah, my mic's gone.
Hang on a second. I thought we sound checked this. Say words, Jake.
I'm talking.
Oh, wait. Here's Jake.
Trying to tell our people about
So we do this.
movies and things and the stuff that we do. And
It's like live TV here or something.
what? All right. Hey, there we go. Kind of.
Now Jake's back.
I'm there a little bit. Yeah. Well, as long as yeah, there we go. That's where we need to be.
See, we're training a new producer here. He's still got his training wheels on, and he's a producer. He's not a producer yet.
Well, yeah. How dare producer leave right before Mortal Kombat trailer dropped?
How do we even talk about Mortal Kombat anything without the producer in the studio? Like,
I mean, it took the two of us, me and him, just to having the big fandom.
Because I just start to tune out after a minute. I don't know. The extent of my Mortal Kombat knowledge is of Lord Raiden being played by
Christopher Lambert.
Yeah, Christopher Lambert, and going.
Well, did you see the new trailer?
I did.
Well, then I think your lack of Mortal Kombat knowledge of how the stories and characters work probably made it where it looked pretty good. Whereas me, on the other hand, disliked a great portion of it.
Except for when I was watching the trailer, I got really upset because my least favorite Mortal Kombat character ever, who always seems to wind up on screen and in cartoons and whatever,
Melina?
Kano.
Oh, yeah.
He's all like, I'm big Australian butthole, and I'm going to go do stuff that no one cares about with my crappy moves, and I'm the worst, lamest character.
Yeah. That's because Sonya Blade has to have her foil for some reason. That's not necessary when they structure the movie the way they do, where Sub-Zero's the ultimate bad guy.
And also ultimate good guy, I think?
Well, which Sub-Zero? There's two Sub-Zeros.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. But they make it where Sub-Zero takes Jax's arms, and I really don't know what to make of the trailer because it goes against a lot of established lore from 9, 10, and now 11, and they could have just continued those stories as they were. No trouble at all. But Johnny said he can't wait to see all of the friendship finishers, which I think, the Babalities and friendships
Berlanti.
and all of those would be a lot of fun to see.
Danny McBride should be Stryker.
Hey,
That would make no sense though. Like,
it'd be funny.
well, he's Kenny Powers, right? And he's just fast as fuck, right? Because Stryker's supposed to just be hella
La
quick.
Flama Blanca. Like, Stryker was always a really bizarre character because he was the only Mortal Kombat character with a beer gut. Like, in the character,
No, Stryker was like the police guy.
yeah, with the blue shirt and he had the nightstick, but he had a gut. He was not in any sort of like fighting shape. He had a cop's bod.
Because he had a shirt on? Because he was the only one with a shirt on?
Well, I think that's why he had a shirt on, because he was too embarrassed about
Hiding it.
showing. I mean, Cyrax and Smoke, all
Cyrax
those dudes
is
were wearing armor and shirts. They had-
Cyrax is a robot.
yeah, I know, but it's a dude in like football pads that are spray painted neon.
Why are you attacking 90s mocap for video games? Like,
Dude, remember Pit Fighter?
yeah,
Yeah, that was some early 90s mocap fighting games.
trying to be Mortal Kombat. Yeah.
Was it pre or post Mortal Kombat?
Pretty sure it was post.
Okay. I can't.
Because it was one of those many things trying to be Mortal
'Cause it
Kombat.
could, like,
But
zoom in and then zoom out and then zoom in.
that's going to be the next big HBO and theaters at the same time release here coming up in the next couple of weeks.
McLean asked, will there be DLC footage with Marvel and DC characters with the home release?
Yeah, and Freddy Krueger and Jason and Leatherface and Alien and Predator and all of that.
So has Mortal Kombat just kind of evolved? Do they fit those characters into the story somehow? Or they just
Yeah.
like, look, it's a playable character? Or do they go, a portal opened up and John Rambo slipped into it and Shang Tsung was like, Rambo, you will fight in Mortal Kombat or your soul is mine.
Yeah, basically that's...
What? They really do that?
Yeah, well, that is how the Mortal Kombat stuff works in the newer games, is that there are multiple worlds and realms, the different realms, and they really expanded on that with the DC versus Mortal Kombat game, and then, Injustice and all that kind of thing. So
What sort of studio is the Mortal Kombat?
Warner Brothers.
It is, okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
WB. What's up, Blake? He says Calhoun is back.
Yes, I am.
Yeah, if you guys aren't tuned in yet or already, you can tell your friends. Find us out on the Facebooks, the Twitches, and the YouTubes. We are broadcasting this live every Monday night, 8 o'clock Central Standard Time. Or you can subscribe to our podcast wherever you subscribe to podcasts. Spotify's easy. Yeah, there we go. All right, that was plugs. New Zack Snyder trailer everybody was talking about. It's been 2 weeks since we've been up here, so everybody's talking about the Justice League.
Yeah, we got to see a little bit more Dark Side. The Joker, so all of the Joker stands, we're going to have to listen to all those Joker stands for the next year, say the whole "we live in a society" nonsense.
Well, I
can't
think that's
wait
out
for
of
that.
context. I think that was just a bad edit. Out of yes, we live in a society, but we don't know the context of that quote.
It doesn't matter. You're going to have to deal with all of this.
I'm okay with Leto Joker.
That's good. Yeah.
As long as it's not like gold tooth, like he was like cruising down Gotham in that lowrider in Suicide Squad. Do you remember? Like it was just ridiculous.
I don't remember a lowrider.
It was like
I feel like that would have been a lot cooler.
It was like a limo lowrider that he was hanging out of, and he just like left the strip club, or he was like, "I'm the Joker, baby," and then he like threw money at everybody, punched a dude in the face, got in his limo lowrider, had a machine gun, was like, and I mean, out of context, it sounds pretty rad, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, a lowrider Joker sounds pretty cool.
A strip club like hanging out in lowrider Joker. And I was okay with it, but I just didn't like that visual representation of, if you close your eyes and listen to Jared Leto do Joker, he's up there in the Joker verse. If you ask me, he'll never top Mark Hamill, but honestly, I think he beats a lot of the other modern day Jokers. Modern day Jokers.
What are you talking about?
He's better than Heath Ledger Joker.
Okay, yeah, but who isn't?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Okay, but I mean, if you're talking,
I'd even go as far as say better than Jack Nicholson Joker.
Yeah, you're probably right. Just because
for
Jack Nicholson wasn't really Joker, he was just Jack Nicholson with a
dressed
little
as
bit of
the
makeup
Joker,
on.
Yeah.
What
But
makes it great.
I thought you were going to talk about some of the other voice actors, and I was like, "There's no way."
Oh no.
Because even John DiMaggio Joker is better.
It's pretty
than,
good. Yeah, pretty good. But no, I'm just talking about on-screen Jokers. I mean, when you're talking about voice, there's so many voice actor Jokers out there, but Mark Hamill really sets the bar for anybody.
And I can't remember the name of the voice actor. He's a really famous video game voice actor that does Joker and a lot of the newer stuff. He did the voice of Pagan Min in Far Cry. Oh, man, I can't remember what his name is. It's going to hit me in a second, or one of our viewers will remember it. But one thing Johnny pointed out that I was going to wait to get to a little later in the show is the whole Joss Whedon having tons of people come out and just be like,
who hate his guts.
This dude is a big-time butthole. Yeah. So it started with the Ray Fisher claims, which he got fired from The Flash. Go figure there, because he was stirring the pot. And they cut him from the Flash movie. But now, because of him coming out and saying those things about Joss Whedon and how abusive and all of that was, Charisma Carpenter from Buffy and Angel has come out and said a lot of things about that, about how he did not like the fact that she got pregnant. They fired her from the show. He asked her if she would give up her baby, and was very abusive to her.
Wait, give up her baby?
Yeah, this is a real thing that happened.
It's like, sacrifice your baby to Army Hammer.
So yeah. So she
he
said
can eat
that
it.
Joss thought his behavior was amusing. He abused his power, both on Buffy and Angel sets, and he has a history of being casually cruel. And with that, more people came forward and said things like Michelle Trachtenberg, who alluded to the fact that there may have been some inappropriate contact with Joss Whedon, as she was an underage actor.
Okay, once you threw in underage, I was like, all right, I can't make jokes there. But like the jokes that I want to make is, have you ever been on a film set? Like after about 60 days around, or 32 days around the same group of people, but 16 hours a day. I mean,
this was
I've
season
grabbed
in
Dave's
and
butt on set before.
Oh,
yeah,
you
but
know?
this was season in and season out.
We didn't even know each other.
No.
Not like we do now.
But he's been described as hostile and toxic, creating those work environments that are no good. And he would call her fat when she was pregnant and things like this.
Oh, come on, man.
Sarah
Bro.
Michelle Gellar came out and she said that she supports all of these people, like her, Michelle Trachtenberg, and Amber Beeson, that all came and said that Joss Whedon was a shit dick. And she's like, yeah, I'm not going to say one way or the other, but just know that I support them. And I'm glad that myself and the character of Buffy will be lasting, but I don't always want them to be associated with Joss Whedon.
So you described him as, or they described him as like casually
Cruel.
And so is giving up your child casually cruel?
I mean,
well, he suggested that be
Sacrificing the
what
first
she would
boy.
do. She weighed 126 pounds, and he kept referring to her as fat while she was pregnant. And he asked if she would keep it. And then he mocked all of her religious beliefs as well as other actors on set. And
so yeah,
then
I mean, I've been around some crappy directors and some prima donna talent but that's pretty intense.
Well,
you
she
know?
got a tattoo of a rosary, which was not something that was going to be seen on screen or whatever like that, and he just relentlessly led into her over the whole thing. So
We got makeup, dude. We got
yeah,
makeup.
yeah, I know, right? Especially on a successful TV show. So there's probably more to it than that, but as of last week or week prior, that's what had hit the news about old Joss Whedon not being great. So everything kind of points towards what Ray Fisher had said about that, now that even some of these other actors have decided that they are okay to come forward about Whedon and how much he sucks, which I've been telling people for a
long time. We've been talking about how he sucks.
Yeah.
Johnny says Snyder seems not so bad, but he still hates Sucker Punch, and I'm on board with that because
I haven't been able to get past the first 2 minutes of that.
Sucker Punch is that movie's title is how you feel after watching that movie. You're like, oh, somebody just like, why did I do this? Ugh, it hurts.
I couldn't get past them. Yeah,
it's not good. It's so
yeah,
bad.
it's like his attempt at anime or something. It's just awful. But talking about HBO and people that we hate on this show, as well as DC properties, J.J. Abrams, y'all. He is continuing with this Justice League Dark project that they announced last April, and one of the additions to that is that Abrams is bringing to HBO an unneeded, unwanted, and
no, not unwanted.
Yes, because it's being done by Abrams, and he's changing everything about.
No, I'm saying it's a wanted thing, but not with Abrams.
Not as a reboot. Why not just continue the character that exists right now in his form that, as he showed in the Arrowverse from the show they had started that everyone loved, but they chopped and got rid of. We're talking about John Constantine, y'all.
Man. My boy Constantine.
There was a recent incarnation of Constantine on TV. Everyone loved it. They canceled it very quick.
Very close to the comics.
Just like The Tick, just like Swamp Thing. If it's like the comics and comic fans like it, they don't want it.
Cancel it immediately.
So they are already getting rid of this wildly popular version of Constantine that has recently made his appearance on the DC TV shows, and they are replacing him. This time now they are talking about changing absolutely everything about the character and entertaining the idea of casting a person of color and probably
you have to now.
Getting rid of his English accent and deciding that he doesn't use magic.
You can still have a person of color that's got a British accent.
With heaven and hell.
What? Because they want to make it not religious?
No. Because J.J. Abrams just wants to ruin the whole thing. But we'll see how it goes. I have no faith in J.J. Abrams. I hate him quite a bit.
That has been a long-running... Everybody knows that watches the show, that's watched the show or listened to it back when we were on the radio many years ago.
Long time.
Jake does not like J.J. Abrams.
I got that impression that you don't.
I do not at all. I hate him so much. You know what, though? Like, Cloverfield was okay.
Yeah,
but
Cloverfield was okay.
Other than that,
Dave,
know what?
What do you think about J.J.? What's your takes on J.J.?
I like lens flares, so he's really...
Boom.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's all about it. Star Trek lens flares, Cloverfield lens
Yeah,
flares.
Star Trek is just lens flare the movie.
Star Wars lens flare.
But joining Abrams on HBO with some DC straight to HBO originals, James Gunn will be making a spinoff to The Batman with The Peacemaker. So we'll see when the Batman finally comes out, if we'll get to see what the hell that's going to be about. And then Greg...
A lot of COVID delays on that one.
Yeah, Greg Berlanti is producing a Green Lantern for DC. So lots of DC HBO
They're going to try it again.
Stuff.
They're going to try it again. Which Lantern, though? Do we know?
No, but I really hope that it's Hal Jordan. I don't want it to be John. I would really hate for it to be Kyle. But if it's Guy Gardner, I'm not going to be upset. Even though he's a poozer.
He is a poozer.
Yeah. So we'll see. Hey, but you know what? Alan would be fantastic to see, the original Green Lantern live action. And his ring doesn't work on wood, and see how that goes over outside of like early Golden Age comics.
I'm waiting for my Martian Manhunter show. That's what I want.
Well, he's in Supergirl. Why not just watch Supergirl?
Because I want a whole show. I don't want to skip to the episodes that just have Martian Manhunter.
He's like her mentor. He's in all of the episodes.
But it's not like about him.
You're right. Yeah.
And does he go like, fire? Ah!
I'm sure it happens. Yeah, at least one time it has to.
Oh, man. Johnny says Danny DeVito should play a Guardian. Oh, he was already a Penguin.
Well, he could be the little... There's one Green Lantern that's like a Mike Wazowski-looking character. It's just like a big round head with arms and legs. Dome. Yeah, that could be DeVito. But hey, talking about reboots and all of these things, did you see that CBS has finally put in an order for the pilot for a True Lies TV show?
Nope, didn't see that.
Yep.
Okay.
James Cameron will be executive producing, and McG is directing.
Oh, McG? Mm-hmm. Suffer like McG did?
And it's being written by the guy that did Burn Notice.
Well, okay. I mean, Burn Notice was kind of fun.
But
Bruce, it was only fun because they had Bruce Campbell, and they were like, hey, Bruce Campbell, you want to be in the show and just do Bruce Campbell things? And he's like, all right.
Well, so... who knows about that? I don't think True Lies really works as a TV show.
I don't think it is either. I mean, how many wives sleeping with car dealership guys that you get to put in a spy situation only to have a love quadrangle something going on? It doesn't work. And Arnold, you have to have Arnold.
Yeah, I mean, True Lies was a re-envisioning of a French movie and they just took it and turned it to 11 and made it amazing. And everyone's like, yeah, Arnold Schwarzenegger in a Harrier jet.
Why would a Spike piss himself, man?
Yeah.
Like you got to have Bill Paxton, and even
Tom
Tom
Arnold.
Arnold. You
Yeah,
got to
you
have
got
some
to.
Tom. Like that movie was Tia Carrera. It was the sum of some amazing parts.
Yeah.
Like the story of True Lies is pretty good, but James Cameron's just assemblage of this beast of amazing pieces is what made. Even to the part where the dude on the missile, like that was even cool. Somehow.
You're fired.
Yeah, you're fired. And he's like dangling by like whatever neck strap he had. Like, oh man, God, True Lies. I'm watching that tonight. Where she drops the gun and it goes down the stairs. It's like and kills everybody.
Yeah, she's the scream queen, so she just yells, and when she's dangling from the helicopter,
Oh man,
yeah,
do it slowly. God, that movie's so good.
Oh, with the horse chase.
Yeah,
at
the horse
beginning.
chase.
Yeah, it's sick.
The Harrier jet,
They are also
the
doing
limousine, the helicopter.
They're doing a remake of Wizard of Oz.
Oh, good. Who's in
I
that?
quit movies.
Yeah, who's in that?
It's
No, it's fine. It's fine.
I quit movies.
Here, give me a cup.
It's being
What?
directed by Nicole Kassell, who did HBO's Watchmen. And
That's a good show.
she has no plans to keep it a musical.
No.
New Line Cinema is doing this, and they brought her in, and she has said it's so that they can have a fresh take on Wizard of Oz, which has been a classic since the 30s.
How can you not have music in The Wizard of Oz? Thank you.
Yes.
Well, and they've recently tried to redo some Wizard of Oz stuff, like with that failed movie that had all, what's his name? James, help me out here.
Which one? Are we talking about The Wiz?
No, not The Wiz. The Wiz is
The Wiz
great.
rules. Return to Oz with that
Yeah.
weird, creepy robot.
No, the one with about Oz himself as he
Yeah.
the wizard when he like travels.
I
It had
remember
like
that.
James Franco.
James
Thanks,
Franco,
Johnny.
yeah.
Yeah, it had like him and Mila Kunis or something like that. Yeah,
And
it
no
was-
one cared.
And there was some
I
other
didn't
attempt
see
at
that.
trying to do it, and it just did not work out.
Flying monkeys.
Yeah, so that's something. That,
Oh, yeah. Will
It's
there
like
be flying
as
monkeys?
if monkeys
Do we
would
know
fly
that
out of
yet?
your butt.
Say what?
Do we know there will be flying monkeys or not in this new one?
I don't know. I mean, I imagine there would be because they're still going to have to base it off the book. But when you have a movie that's been established for nearly 100 years,
Yeah, bro.
That's a long
That's gonna be
time.
you're
That's
just
gonna
going
be
to
a-
go in with your fresh take, and it's like,
Yeah.
you're going to take
Just
away
gonna-
the music and just be like, well, no Judy Garland in this. Screw
I
every
guarantee you
part
my
of that.
kids will be like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
how they're going to word it, too.
Yeah, kids. It's like this is not like it's something that's such an institution. The you just can't meddle with that. Speaking of things that are getting meddled with, I don't know if you heard about this, because oh my God, leave it to 2021 to make this a reality. But Tim Burton. Everyone's like, oh yeah, Tim.
That's exactly where I was going
what
next.
you're going? So
Yeah.
Tim Burton, I didn't even have to write this on a piece of paper. We're mind linked. But Tim Burton is now in talks to reboot and create a Addams Family based spin-off show surrounding Wednesday.
Not in talks. Netflix.
Yeah, Netflix
bought
is
the show.
It's there. They haven't started yet. But Tim Burton making a Wednesday Addams show where she goes to a psychic school for girls or
That
something.
sounds so
and
awful.
like fights monsters and
So-
like everything that Wednesday Addams wouldn't give two shits about.
What
Because
it's-
have you read an Addams Family comic?
Right. So it's supposed to be like a Sabrina the Teenage Witch on Netflix type show.
Which I started watching
It's-
because I'm a
it's-
grown adult male.
It's awful. It's so bad. The first.
Oh, you've watched it?
I tried. I got mostly through the first season and just gave up. The first season is supposed to be 8 episodes long, directed by Tim Burton.
Yeah, that's what they said.
And the guys that are writing it are Al Guff and Miles Miller, who wrote for Smallville.
No.
But the idea is that, there's going to be sleuthing, and it's going to be Wednesday investigating weird happenings at the school. It's a normal high school, but she's going to develop her psychic powers, which I don't ever remember. Wednesday
doesn't
Addams
have
having
psychic-
powers.
she's just
That's
a-
part of the Addams family is that they don't have superpowers.
They're just creepy,
They're creepy
weird
and
goths.
kooky
Mysterious
and altogether
and spooky.
spooky, man. Come on.
God.
You guys are getting pretty intense.
Well, dude, it's the Addams Family,
I'm
Dave.
I'm just saying. It's so what?
This is serious business.
I hear what you're saying.
1964-ish.
Addams Family cartoon.
The original
comic
show,
started
the
in
comic
the 30s.
was in the 30s.
We're talking about something else almost 100 years old. So
Right.
You know, and then the TV show came on, established this family as, you know, just this weird counterculture goth family. It's cool. It's accessible. That's the thing that made the Addams Family cool, is like they could possibly exist in this world. You know, that's what makes a lot of these things cool, is it's framed in a way that it's possible to happen in reality. You know it's not going to, but in a weird way, you could see that house at the end of the street having an Addams Family in it. You're not going to see a psychic school for girls solving Scooby-Doo-ass mysteries. Like, no.
Well, and it's like Wednesday's going to be the only one, and she's just going to go around, and everyone's like, how'd you know? And it's going to be like, that's so Raven. Yeah, but and then when it says Raven, it's going to be like an actual raven bird fly out of nowhere and be all creepy.
Do-do-do-do.
Yeah, I just imagine it being straight up That's So Raven, but like goth and white kids.
Blake
Oh, my
would
God.
rather have a nightmare.
Before Christmas show.
Yeah.
Which yes, but that's a long show. It'd be Nightmare Before Thanksgiving, Nightmare Before Halloween.
Why
Nightmare
not
Before...
just bring back the Beetlejuice cartoon?
Dude, the Beetlejuice cartoon
down.
was cool
Solid.
as heck. That was a good cartoon.
Can we reboot Beetlejuice? I think that would be something.
I don't want to reboot it. They're supposed to be doing a sequel at some point.
Well, I think that got put a stopper on.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's what I
Because of
said
COVID.
supposed to at some point.
That'd be something.
I just don't know what you would do with Alec Baldwin and Gina Davis.
Yeah.
How do you explain they aged when they're
They're
dead?
monsters. They made
Right.
themselves look scary. You know, Gina Davis, we were on that shoot. Remember we did that shoot with Gina Davis, and it was just a quick, we were there all freaking day. And they had like 17 handlers come into the room to make sure that our
Right.
camera line, because they didn't ever want to show her chin, so the camera had to get set like offset 15 inches above normal eye line, just so we could shoot down at her. You remember that shoot?
Yeah, at the museum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was so weird. It was so weird. And everybody came in and goes, Miss Davis is going to be coming in here shortly. And we're like, yeah, we know. That's why we're here. And then somebody else would come in and go, well, I'm with Miss Davis, and I'm going to let you know that somebody else is going to come and let you know that somebody's going to let you know
right.
that Miss Davis is coming in here in a minute.
Well, yeah, and she came in and she was super.
She was
nice.
super cool.
She was nice as hell.
Oh, yeah,
like,
she
just
seems like she'd be awesome.
Super cool, yeah.
But she was also...
Until I bombard her with questions about Earth Girls Are Easy, and she's
maybe.
just like, please stop talking about it.
Yeah.
I think she would have been very thankful for questions about
yeah,
Earth Girls Are Easy, as long as it wasn't about the baseball. She's like, just please don't talk to me about A League of Their Own right now.
Hi, Gloria.
Talk to me about Cutthroat Island, at least.
Yeah.
Or Long Kiss Goodnight. But she, you know, you could. She was very adamant about that chin line. She had to get that chin line just right.
Well, you know what? While we're talking about these streaming services and all of the mistakes and things that they do, Disney, we didn't get to talk about this. Gina Carano got herself
Canceled. AF.
So, and this has come out here.
I still
There's
don't
some
really
more to
understand.
this. So
Yeah.
here's the thing.
I've been following
She had-
it, but not following it.
She had been in hot water with Disney for a while because of her social media presence
Mm-hmm.
and what she chose to put out there that does not jive with the Disney message and people that would be a fan of Cara Dune and want to know more about Gina Carano, the professional fighter and turned actor, right? So she then decided...
Go figure. A professional fighter has like troubling interests.
Yeah, but you think when you sign a contract with Disney that makes you one of the most popular people
makes
on the
you-
face of the planet, you might shut up for a minute
Where
to
you
earn millions.
no longer
and
own your
never
own
have to work
soul.
again. Yeah. Well, so she decided to make some anti-Semitic tweets and compare Republican Party to
Oh my God,
persecution by the Nazis.
Vince just posted. It says Vince said she said conservatives were treated worse than Jews in
Yes.
concentration. Whoa.
Oh, wow.
So-
I didn't really know. I knew she said something like that. But
That was the final thing that got her the axe there.
Thanks, Cause.
But since then, they have canceled her action figures. They've no new Cara Dune anything will happen, and in fact, they put a stop to all pre-orders. People had pre-orders in for a new figure. You're not gonna get them.
Can't get one. We
not
need to
gonna
make
happen.
it. No, here's the deal. I don't support anything that she said, but let's make a figure and put it out there, because those are going to be the rarest, most sought after figures. And
They
let's
do-
make a bunch of money.
There's already a Cara Dune figure
Let's
out.
make that money. Let's
this was
take it,
for-
vacuum inject and mold it, paint it, sell it.
This was for the Disney, the Star Wars Black line, like the more high def, better painted, better scanned figures. But
we're gonna do this. We're gonna make all
with
the money.
this, she's come out and she's tried to get people to be sympathetic for her because she was saying that she found out she was fired from social media. No one contacted her. Well, she was fired because of social media, so that's only fitting.
Oh man.
Let me say this. I wish she wouldn't have said that because I really liked her character in
Sure, a lot of people did. In fact, the day before her firing was announced, I saw people that were like big simping for Cara Dune.
Yeah.
You know,
Big simping.
Yeah.
Jeez.
and everyone's like, "This is my character. Look how cool she is. I'm all about her. I wish they'd do more of their next season." And then she ain't gonna be in next season.
No.
It's weird. Like, well, Ina Chu here in the Twitch comments said down there, Spirit dropped when found out the Bloodsport, the movie, was fake. But it lives in my heart. Frank Dukes.
What do you mean?
Frank Dukes in the
all movies are fake.
Pick a
They're-
brick. Pah!
Frank Dukes.
Mother.
Frank Dukes is a real dude,
He is a
and
real
according to him, he did all of those things.
He did pick a brick in
Now,
the Kumite.
There's nobody that corroborates his story.
No, of course not.
And there's many experts
Because
that say
none lived to tell the tale.
probably
It's
it
a
didn't
Kumite.
happen. But according to Frank Dukes, this is all real stuff, and I'm inclined to believe it because it's awesome.
It's true. It's true. And the what is the Paul? Who is the guy that did the score to that? It's really good though. And that song where he's like on the. No, I was thinking the Subway song where he's like really sad and he's kind of spooked by Bolo Young at the same time, and because he'd like gotten hurt and stuff. It's like on my own alone tonight, and he's like looking and he sees Bolo Young's reflection in the glass, and he's like, oh, and he like turns around. It's not Bolo Young. It's just some dude reading the paper, and he's just like, gotta gather my strength, gotta
not
fight the power.
Super swole, nothing but
know
arm
I'm
muscles
gonna
and
feel it
chest,
right
Bolo Young, but instead it's like a tiny man, like a tiny Singaporean man.
Yeah, and he's
like,
just like,
oh. Yeah. How would you mistake anyone for Bolo Young? Bolo Young is like can't wipe his own butt, and then you're like, oh, Bolo, and it's just like this like tiny dude with a comic book or something.
No, that'd be great. But anyway, where I was getting at, they said it's supposed to be about movies and y'all political, and that's where I wanted to go with this, is because so much about
Politics play in the
Hollywood
movies.
and
Is political.
and celebrity, it is. It's super political, and Dave and I, we've worked half of our careers paid through political ads and commercials.
Half of my life.
And this whole industry is incredibly political, even though it's for entertainment, but so much of entertainment gets political. And then when people drive their own politics in it, it's crazy.
Look at our last president that we had. It's because he was a dude on TV. Speaking of dudes on TV and presidents,
Ronald Reagan.
Well, yes, he was in the movies. But Dwayne Johnson, his new show, Young Rock, every episode opens with him doing an interview as if he was in a presidential run in the future.
Really?
And now there are more talks and more people pushing for him to do a future presidential run, which he once again said that he would do if it was something that the people wanted. But he still insists that he would like to have political experience first. So we may sometime
Run for mayor.
Mayor, governor, senator, whatever, and see
City council.
Dwayne Johnson enter politics.
We would get the Camacho we deserve.
I think that him at the debates would be the best thing ever, because finally The Rock has come back to like whatever city, and everyone just goes ape. And then when he's sitting there talking and stuff, and he's like, well, you know what? I'll concede my time. What do you think about it, whoever? And they're like, well, I think. He goes, it doesn't matter what you think. Now sit down and know your role. Shut your mouth. Like all of
That's
that,
how
it
that
would
would
be
go.
Well, I mean,
the
we already
best.
had Jesse the Body.
Yeah.
Jesse
Yeah.
the Body. We had the Governator. We had what was the comedian, the SNL writer that got canceled even for way
Al
less?
Franken.
Al Franken. We had a president that grabbed him by the pussy, and then Al Franken like got in trouble for a skit that he wrote like 20 years prior.
Yeah, bullshit.
But you know what? He's good enough. He's smart enough, and gosh darn it,
People
there for a
like
while.
him. People liked him. Gosh darn it, once upon a time.
So
it's weird.
To your point, politics and entertainment are political.
Well, everything's the concept of celebrity has gotten so intertwined, and it's not. Honestly, it's not the content creators that made it political. It's the people that consume it that were really the driving God hand that made this world as political as it is now, and it's kind of weird.
The market of people that consume the entertainment make their entertainment political. I mean, that's what happens.
It's what happens.
And Johnny just pointed out another wrestler, actor, Kane, from WWE, is the mayor of several cities. He's the mayor of a county.
Wait, how do you get to be the mayor of more than one city?
Because that's just how they do it in Tennessee.
What? Really?
Tennessee.
Is that right?
He's
rowdy.
He's a
Let's
county
go.
mayor. Yeah, it's like a weird deal. But you know what?
Logan on Twitch goes, and here comes Bernie with a chair.
Yeah. You know what though? Oh yeah, Mary
Goldie
Mayor
Wilson.
Goldie Wilson.
I'm gonna clean up this town.
Mayor. I like the sound of that. Disney, talking about things that are way too involved in politics, y'all, and the politics of Disney. You know that they are still talking about doing the Rian Johnson Star Wars trilogy. That's still a thing, despite The Last Jedi.
I don't think that's a good idea.
No.
Yeah.
That's not.
Well, it's the same one that the
No.
Game of Thrones showrunners,
Lindelof
DB
and Dobbs.
and David Benioff backed out of and everything. But they're still, in a recent interview, Rian Johnson said that that's still on the slate. Disney has not gotten rid of it. And there's a lot of people that support the idea of this because he won't be controlled by fucking J.J. Abrams ruining everything. Being like, I'm just going to throw stuff like a Jackson Pollock. We're going to turn that into a movie, and you roll with it and see how it goes. Pick any of these elements and try and make it work. And Rian Johnson's like, I can't. I'll do my best. And they're like, well, we hated this, Abrams. And he's like, what if I make it worse? And they're like, I like that idea. Let's do that.
Let's make it.
So I like the idea,
even
though,
worse.
of more spin-offs from like Mandalorian, like that kind of thing.
Well, there's about 15 of them lined up, ready to go.
I'm sure
So
about 2 of them will be good.
Disney Plus will be nothing but that. Speaking of, Bo,
Oh, God. What do you got for me?
Ronald D. Moore was just hired by Disney Plus with an 8-figure deal to write for them, including what's most likely going to end up being a Star Wars show, because he has submitted writings for Star Wars
Because
before.
they're like, hey, I don't care what idea you got. Can you make it Star Wars?
Well,
can you,
so-
whatever that sounds good. Can you make it about Star Wars?
Ronald D. Moore
Put it
is
in there, Star
famous
Wars.
for his work on Star Trek, primarily
It's true.
TNG, mainly Deep Space Nine, and then he went in and tried to work on Voyager for a while. Did not work out, so he left the show. But he is
Star Trek is.
doing their 20th
What?
TV.
We'll see. I'm just. No, go ahead. 20th TV.
Yeah, he's making shows for 20th TV, which is, I guess, what they're renaming Fox stuff. Instead of 20th Century, they're calling it 20th TV. And it's a multi-year, 8-figure deal. He's starting with Disney Plus doing Swiss Family Robinson. That's his first project. So we're getting a Swiss Family Robinson.
Riding them ostriches
I
that
don't
were
know.
some reason on a desert island.
I don't know
where
if
they
it's
found
going
them,
to
but-
be a show or a movie, just as long as they don't have the declawed tigers being tortured by the dogs like they did in the 60s movie.
Well,
which
that was before
still
PETA.
traumatizes me to this day.
Yeah.
All of the old Disney classics, they just are terrible to animals.
Oh, and civil rights and all sorts of
Okay,
fun
yeah, there's
things.
all-
Yeah,
we got-
I mean,
Yeah.
hey,
So-
Disney.
Rabbit hole.
Yeah, but now they have messages in front of them where they just took the shows off
Well, you saw
completely.
how many episodes of the Muppet Show actually just got censored on Disney Plus because they're like, well, yeah,
Really?
because they're like some characters in these episodes may portray negative stereotypes.
So they got rid of the entire band.
Well, Dr. Teeth.
Yeah.
You can't get rid of Dr. Teeth.
But Ronald D. Moore,
Manamana.
if he's given the Star Wars show, he'll have credits for Star Trek, Battlestar Galactica, and Star
Anything with
Wars.
star in it.
That song is from a porno, so, I mean, are they going to get rid of that?
Sounds like a resume.
Shout outs to my Aunt Debbie out there tuning in from Alabama. Look at that. Look at that. Family all over the place. I'll tell you, Ivan says, yeah, lots of people know Dexter was stealing IP. Jeff Lindsay is a thief. Dude, IP theft, that's why in movie production, if you ever visit a set or if you ever go, if you work in this business for any stint of time, like cell phones and on-set photos and leaked, it's no shit. Like you can't, you can't talk about the stuff that you're working on because somebody will beat you to it, or somebody will take those ideas and run with it. Like there was a series of short films that came out, God, in the early 2000s called Everything is a Remix. And it was a really cool docuseries about how there is no such thing as new ideas anymore. It's just repackaged old ideas that somebody else had that couldn't quite accomplish, and now somebody else took and ran the torch. Like, we've thought of everything at this point. But in storytelling, it's even worse. Everything is derivative from something, and to make new content, the art form of being able to reference and pay homage to things that have already been made before, but make them new, is really awesome. But to grab, like, so much of Hollywood these days is like, let's just do a reboot of something that everybody knows because it'll sell. But to make an old idea new again that people don't know that it's new, that's the real trick. That's anyway. I just didn't mean to go down that rabbit hole.
You know what? One other thing in entertainment that kind of relates to old ideas being made new and stuff. Did you see that Second City got sold for $50 million?
Like the Chicago Improv Troupe?
Yep.
Really?
Actually, a buddy of mine, we were just hanging out with him on set today. Marty Shutter. He was a Second City alum.
Yeah, it was.
I didn't know that.
It was bought by ZMC, which is run by Strauss Zelnick, who's the CEO of Take-Two Entertainment, and Take-Two is the owner of Rockstar Games and 2K Games. So this dude, big entertainment powerhouse that he is in the world of video games and things like that, now owns and runs Second City.
So, oh man,
we'll
maybe
see what happens.
Maybe
we'll get some more Second City stuff. Maybe with Rick Moranis coming back into the acting world, we can get some Strange Brew.
Oh, hang on, there it is. Boom, got my Rick Moranis notebook. Yeah, dude. Improv comedy is not my favorite thing in the world, but Second City was responsible for a lot of really talented people.
People that you don't even know were in there, like
Dan Aykroyd,
Dan Aykroyd was SNL.
SNL alum.
Yeah, but he started in Second City.
Oh, did he?
Yeah,
John Candy was Second City. Catherine O'Hare was Second City.
Pretty much all of Dan Harmon's friends were Second City.
Big eyebrows.
Harold Ramis. Kaz was over here in the comments.
Oh, friggin' Schitt's Creek. What's his name? Eugene Levy. He was Second City.
Yeah, Johnny just said Eugene Levy.
Oh, okay.
Shout outs to Night Owlishley. Says, been trying to get my kids to bed so I can finally get on here. Finally made it. Just get the kids in here. Well, let's bore them to death with grown-up talk.
How old are they?
I don't know. This is a kiddish, friendly show. We could teach them about the world, about life.
You don't want that.
You don't want me to? I'm a great teacher. What are you talking about?
You are.
I am a great teacher.
Yeah. Well, you know what? And talking about remakes and Disney and stuff, one more thing. That Cruella trailer came out. Did you see that?
I did.
Cruella.
Yeah.
Live action Cruella.
Yeah. Was that Emma Stone?
Yep.
Oh, wow. She's hot.
Yeah.
Yeah, but she's a dog murderer now.
Yeah. So
she's
less
a what?
hot. Yeah,
dog
Cruella
murderer.
DeVille,
Cruella
dude.
DeVille is a dog murderer.
Not for real, though.
The character is.
Yeah.
I know that.
But the character is a celebrated dog murderer.
Emma Stone's hot. That's what I'm saying.
Does that excuse murdering dogs?
No. Never.
Well, maybe.
Well, what's the threshold of how many dogs you'll allow Emma Stone to murder? Yeah, it's 101 and then stop.
If you go past that, then that's not good.
Oh man, I don't know how I feel about the trailer. I mean, this falls down the path of Disney for a long time, trying to make their villains line of heroes, kind of like they did with I can't even believe it.
Angelina Jolie.
Yeah, the Maleficent. Yeah, that one. I'm just ready for the Night on Bald Mountain demon show, just like where he wakes up and like throws a rad skeleton party, and he's like, with the orchestra's playing, and then he goes to bed, and everybody thinks he's the bad guy. He's the real homie. Like, I want that show.
You guys are gonna rip me a new one, but I'm looking forward to the Top Gun sequel.
No, I'm super stoked about
it.
Maverick.
Like, they kept the music for the trailer. I'm like, dude, Oh,
Dude, I'm mad stoked for Top Gun. Yeah, I need it. It was supposed to come out long ago.
Well,
and
I know.
I've had that need for speed.
Yeah, totally.
With the boys.
Yeah, dude, I need the soundtrack. I need Kenny Loggins. I got that
exactly.
need for speed.
Yeah.
Bernat.
Oh yeah, and beach volleyball. Beach volleyball.
Yeah,
Well,
of course,
they're doing
in
it
blue
again.
jeans.
It's already shown in the trailer. They're doing it.
The boys. Yeah, it's a good one.
Super cool. Yeah.
I could do without Miles Teller, but it is what it is. So
Bambi spinoff. What?
What do we got here? Tom Hanks playing the hunter in a baby spit. Oh, yeah. Have they not remade Bambi yet? They
Why
did
would
Dumbo.
you?
They did Dumbo, which
did
was unnecessary.
and did not work.
I
They
did
did
not. Did you watch? I didn't watch.
You
I
remember?
watched it. It was bad.
You remember that 2-year period where we had like 19 Jungle Book movies?
Yes.
Yeah.
So there was the Jungle Book phase, and I guess what are we left? We got to have a Bambi, a new Bambi.
yeah.
We got to have and
They did the Peter Pan phase.
we did. Oh God, we get a new Peter Pan about every 4
Yeah, there's been
years.
40 Peter Pans. I don't.
Yeah, 40 Peters. We got what was the next one that hasn't been touched in a while? We got Snow White. Like that was back 6 years ago. Snow White and the Huntsman. What's another popular Disney old ass franchise? We're gonna get Steamboat Mickey the remake. Like, is that the next one that's on the docket?
Super gritty. He throws Pete
Dude, they're
into,
just like
into
battling.
like the fan, and he gets chopped up. Or something.
It's like the Lighthouse, but with Mickey and Pete like stranded,
Cinderella.
losing their freaking minds.
Has there been a Cinderella remake?
There's been like what was that show about all the princess shit?
Yeah, there's a couple of them. But Knight Owlsley asked if they missed the Black Girl Little Mermaid. You did. It was a
on
it was a
Disney
TV.
Plus,
It was
right?
one of
Yeah.
those live musical versions like they did with Peter Pan. I think you can buy the DVD or watch it anytime you want. But that does remind me that one of our viewers, Vince, sent me a link that they're rebooting Doogie Howser on Disney.
We made a joke about that, and it was
as
real.
A young girl
Yes.
of color. Doogie Howser,
Doogie-
just far from Neil Patrick Harris.
Yeah, but that I like.
Why is it still Doogie Howser when it's not Doogie?
Well,
though?
but the idea is the same. And
The idea is the same, but that idea is the same as the Good Doctor and stuff like that. And I don't think Doogie Howser's something that needs a
I don't think we
reboot.
need to encourage children to play with medical supplies.
Why not?
Yeah.
No, we don't need that. We don't need going, I'm going to stick this syringe in my arm because it's going to heal you.
How do you
2021.
follow Neil Patrick Harris? Is all I'm
don't.
saying.
McLean says, give me a Black Cauldron remake that isn't cut to shit and make it more kid-friendly. I'll take, dude, the Black Cauldron freaking rules. And there's a lot of interesting stuff about that movie because that movie was a big like turning point for Disney. It was right before Don Bluth left Disney because, dude, shout outs to Don Bluth, amazing animator. But there was this big, huge split in Disney Animation Studios, and Black Cauldron was one of these last animated things that they did that really didn't do well, and they went dark. It was a dark period for Disney, but the Black Cauldron's actually a pretty damn good movie. So anyway, and that was where the rise of Warner Brothers Animation started to come after that big falling out with Don Bluth and Disney. Yeah, dude, I love old animation. It's so much fun. Let's see. Kaz asks, what happened to Jon Favreau's live action Main Street?
Jon Favreau is doing all of the Star Wars now. They basically put him in charge of everything Disney plus Star Wars. Jon Favreau is like the showrunner for anything Star Wars because he made Mandalorian give Disney their money and brought people back to Star Wars after Last Jedi and
was not so
Rise
good.
of Skywalker.
He was the
decided
true Last
to-
Jedi to Disney. So
Yeah, I mean, it's a good show.
When's he getting canceled for the movies that he used to make?
it's money, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, or
Right,
PCU and Swingers and all of that stuff. Vince says, don't confuse Black Cauldron with Black Hole. I would never, because Black Hole, I loved that movie. The robots in that movie are so cool, especially the little junky one that's like the granddad robot that's just like, brr, brr, brr. Like, Google it. It's funnier.
I gotta look that
like
up.
Black Hole's a good movie. Whatever. Oh, Rob Zombie's Fantasia. I'd
That'd
be here for
something.
that.
Yeah, that'd be a reboot.
It'd just be like the scene from no, that already exists. It's in Beavis and Butthead Do America when they're in the desert.
It's true. Let's see. Night Owlsley says Beauty and the Beast came out. You remember the Beauty and the Beast 1990s television series? Do you guys remember that?
No.
You guys don't remember that?
No.
No. Was
Oh,
Gaston the hero in it?
No.
Well, then I didn't watch it, dude. Gaston's the coolest.
The Beast like lived in the sewers and was played by a Kevin Sorbo-esque kind of character. I
remember the live
It was Ron
action.
Perlman. Yeah, it was Ron Perlman.
Oh, I thought you meant. I thought you said
live,
cartoon.
No, it was a live action TV.
Yeah,
He lived in
yeah,
the
it had
sewers
Linda
and
Hamilton.
Linda Hamilton. Yeah.
Okay.
That was. And then didn't they have like a Friday the 13th, the series also at that time period? There was a lot of like weird TV shows that last like one season. I remember Kindred the Embraced, which was based on that pen and paper role playing game about vampires. That was a really good short lived. Man, the 90s. There were some weird shows. You guys remember Silk Stockings?
Yes. Yes.
I don't know. Just you guys remember stuff? You guys remember those?
Lately, not so much.
Yeah.
It's just not. I try not to now.
Oh, so
USA Up All Night. You guys remember that? You guys
I
remember
do.
Gilbert
Yeah.
Godfrey.
Yeah.
Cosmic Crazy said Freddy's Nightmares, which reminds me, did you see that they did the Five Nights at Freddy movie and it's not called Five Nights at Freddy, but instead it's called like Willy's Wonders or something with
Willy Wonders.
yeah,
Wait a
with
minute. What are we talking
friggin' Nick Cage movie. It's basically it's Five Nights at Freddy. He's hired as a janitor at a place that has evil animatronics that he has to like fend off.
It's on my watch list.
That sounds horrible.
It actually, remember this was fairly recent. There was a movie about, it wasn't like the Get Along Gang. It was some other famous, like, 1960s big costumed wearing music thing. Come on, comment. Somebody help me out here. And they did a movie about it, but it was all about the Banana Splits. Yes, thank you, Cause. The Banana Splits. They did a horror version of it, and it was like there were all these killer robots doing the Banana Splits. Get Along Gang. You guys remember? Get Along Gang, Get Along Gang. All right, sorry. I associate everything with music. That's how I remember everything. That's why.
When was that? Because I was probably out in the woods or something. Because
I don't know. We were children.
Yeah, I was in the woods.
Yeah. Knight Alishly says, why are you making me think of that vampire series? It was here and now it's gone. I can't remember them, but Silk Stockings made me think of. So, yeah, it was called Kindred, The Embraced, and that show was really good. But the main character, I think, died in a car crash, and so they had to cancel it after barely one season. And it had the one dude with the huge jaw that was always a bad guy and everything. He was like, he was the leader of the Bruja. And he always had these huge jaw muscles, and he was in everything in the 90s.
Vince
That required a
says
jaw.
They're doing. Speaking of Jaws and having to work on those, as seen in the Tim Burton Willy Wonka, he said they're doing a prequel of Willy Wonka and how he got the factory. I don't think they should do that. It's better
As long as Tim Burton's not attached.
it's better as a mystery of like who the Oompa Loompas are and where they come from, more so than he found.
How did he find an indigenous
I
race
think
of
you're-
midgets to enslave to make chocolate for free for the rest of his life?
You're being curse-mudgety. I want to know where he found the Oompa Loompas. To be
Well,
honest.
then watch the Tim Burton version. It's there and it's awful. It's
Well, I want to see a good version of it.
well, see, that's the dilemma there.
Impossible.
So before we go, I want to talk a little bit about current events. But last week, how did we all do during the snowpocalypse?
I have a Subaru with snow tires.
Yeah,
I have a Bronco, an Eddie Bauer edition Bronco.
yeah, and I have a giant F-350 with four-wheel drive, right?
So how many people's lives did you save over the snowpocalypse?
Several. So yeah, I mean, if you have a four-wheel drive, you go, people call you, can you get my groceries? Can you pull me out of the ditch? Can you do whatever? Well, I did all those things, but I was humbled by the snow and ice because I myself got stuck.
I mean,
In the big truck?
Yeah,
four-wheel drive doesn't make you invincible, man. You still got to be
right,
careful.
right.
That's why my car was going real slow.
I was
even though it's
very-
like a hot boy fast
I
car.
was very confident, Jake. I was very confident, and I fell into a ditch very slowly. The ice just, it was very, very.
You just saw it coming. Was it time that moved slowly, or were you moving
No,
slowly?
like Austin Powers in the
it was-
steamroller.
It was very slowly, and it was very emasculating. And let me tell you, Jake, I have I'm not bragging, but got a big truck.
Yeah. yeah.
But the truck.
And I have a
Do you have a tiny garage?
car.
Like, put that big truck in someone's tiny garage. Isn't that how the song goes?
My
You guys
truck-
remember that song?
My truck won't fit in a garage.
Oh. Night Alice, who says Bronco update should be a thing. Can
That
we
is a
revamp
thing.
that for other
That was
things
a
than
thing
snow?
all last week.
Well, yeah, I mean that's.
It was
I used to do Bronco talks back,
really?
where I'd sit in the Bronco and have political discussions with the community about just like, hey, let's talk about this, and then
Right.
But road updates are important because the news doesn't have time to cover the roads properly. They go, well, it's still snowing out here. Back to you, and it's just not good. So it was important for me to get out there on the road and tell people, drive down the main streets, show them what was doing. That's what I did during the snow.
But it was quite a week, I would say.
It was, dude, I live for that stuff. It gives me excuse.
I hate
I know.
every part
He
of
hates scary movies. He hates snow. He hates fun. He hates everything he hates. But I love it, man. It gives me an excuse to, like, the world stops. I can watch movies when I get home.
But the world doesn't stop. Some of us still have to be at our jobs, no matter what.
Yeah, but it was slow at your job, wasn't it?
Everyone else wasn't out, but I still. There are those of us that still have to be out and around, and it puts a lot of people into a dangerous situation because I don't want someone who shouldn't be out, that has to be out, sliding into my car.
Yeah, well,
No,
that's
and
when you
that
call your
happens.
homie with the Bronco to come pick you up. I was giving people rides.
But
to
I
work.
have a fully capable vehicle. It's just I don't want someone else hitting me because they don't have a capable
Well, then call
vehicle.
your homie who's not afraid.
The Bronco's invincible.
Yeah, I have a force bubble around it.
Yeah. Right.
And-
it's like a force shield. Me too, by the way. A giant bumper.
Yeah.
Yeah, have you his giant diesel for? Oh, dude, it's
My snow tires were getting me around a lot better than a lot of people's four-wheel drive trucks with whatever all-season tires they have.
People here aren't used to driving on, packed.
Fargo meets Misery out
Yeah,
there.
it was. I've
Keeping
never
it movies.
I've never seen anything like it. It was crazy.
So somebody asks, Patrick Henry on the Facebook, he says, what's your guys' take on Godzilla vs. Kong? We talked about this a little bit when that trailer dropped 3 weeks ago. And our thoughts are very different from each other.
Well, we'll see how it goes. It's kind of the thing. I like the old original Kong vs. Zilla movie. I used to watch it all the time.
Rubber Suit Kong versus Zilla. Was Baby Kong in that one? Kid Kong?
No.
No. Okay. Well, you never know when he's going to show up.
There's a Kid Kong.
Oh, dude.
Well, there's a young Godzilla too.
Yeah.
In the Island of Monsters,
Dude,
Destroy All Monsters.
Baby Zilla is hilarious. Those little.
Oh, because he goes flying and
Yeah.
like Space Godzilla like hits him and he just goes flying all over the place.
Well, my thoughts on it are, this movie looks like Rampage, which we already got with, and it had The Rock. And I don't know. I'm just not. I wasn't a big fan of King of the Monsters.
It was not so well. And the first Godzilla was like, look at all these people and these people stories. It's like, yeah, but what about the fucking Godzilla? Could I see the
rampaging nuclear
lizard,
monster,
please? Yeah.
I'm like, no, let's tell these stories, these human stories
that no one wanted. It was the worst. And then they killed off old what's his name, dude that everyone wanted to watch the movie for.
Ken Watanabe.
No, he lived till the second movie where they just killed him the dumbest way. But you know what? Cosmic Crazy points out something that I agree with. Jeff Bridges' King Kong is the best one.
And Gojira, Godzilla, which came out in the past decade, is probably my favorite, most recent.
No, that's
Godzilla
not what that
movie.
one was called. What
Was it? I thought it was called Gojira.
No, Gojira that's just Godzilla.
I know, but
you're
I
talking
thought
about
that
the
was a-
one that's red and evolves from a worm.
Yeah, that
up
was
to,
awesome.
What was that one actually
I
called?
thought it was Gojira.
No.
Well, whatever that one is. Vince asks, can a Dracula, he calls vampires Draculas, bite King Kong so it would be Vampire Kong versus Godzilla? Let me ask you this, Vince. Are you a Venture Brothers fan? Because anybody that I know that loves Venture Brothers also calls vampires Draculas.
There it is. McLean came in with it. Shin Godzilla.
Shin Godzilla. Okay, yeah, that one was awesome. That's my favorite.
Hey, you know what, though? Before we leave, I did watch 2 movies that were newer that you can watch at home right now, and they have a lot to do with things like Godzilla because of space, meteors, and things like this. The first one was Greenland. It was about like a comet was going to come by Earth real close, and then they found out last minute that it was going to be a lot closer than they thought. It starts impacting, and Gerard Butler's family is selected under presidential order to make their way to the safe haven, which is classified at that point in time, and all of these families start to find out that certain ones are being selected, and chaos around the nation ensues, and everyone is trying to find their way onto a plane as they're chosen based on their profession to rebuild the world after it ends, and they are denied acceptance once they get there because his son has diabetes, and they have no disease or chronic conditions are allowed to survive the apocalypse, but they find a way to make it anyhow, and they go through the struggles of that. That is Greenland. It's actually not a bad movie. I put it on. I was going to clean my apartment while it was on just so I could pay enough attention, and I ended up being fully intrigued in it. Not like all of the other disaster movies exactly. Close enough. You know, they're not going to stray too far away from the formula, but enough that it's still interesting.
Where can you watch that?
You can watch it pretty much anywhere. I rented it through my Xbox or Microsoft Movies and TV. You can, I think, get it from Amazon or any other kind of on-demand service. And then I followed that up with Love and Monsters, which I'd been wanting to watch for a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
That was supposed to get a big theatrical release, and then all that stuff hit, and it went straight to home. It was kind of the same thing. There was a large comet or meteor, and the story on this was, instead of monsters invading the Earth, it was that to stop the meteor, they launched all of these missiles and weapons and nuclear arms at it, and then that had fallout that came back down and mutated the small life on Earth. So things like ants, centipedes, lizards, frogs, all mutated and grew in size. Bigger animals
Attack of the 50-foot ants!
Yeah, exactly. So bigger animals like humans and dogs and animals of that were left unaffected.
But a 50-foot ant couldn't survive under its own weight. If you want to get comfortable about
it doesn't matter.
Don't give me the science. I don't want to hear about it.
Yeah, it's a goofy movie to be a goofy movie, and the science is not something that matters. But it's
actually...
I can't remember the name of the kid that was in it. Dylan something.
Okay.
But it's about a kid. He's in a bunker, and he has for 7 years he's lived in this missile silo. Yeah, for 7 years he's lived in a missile silo with these a bunker with these other people that he just randomly got in company with to survive. But his high school girlfriend went to this other one. He found her on the radio, and he decides he's going to go out in the world and find her. And he survives a 7-day trek to find her, and in the process becomes a man because he's been.
Are you a man?
Well, he's like a scaredy cat.
Man.
He's like a scaredy cat and a wuss and all this stuff. But he grows as a person, and then in the end, he helps all of the world to grow by leaving a message on the radio for all to find and follow. It's dumb, but it's enjoyable. But the thing about both of these that was interesting is they're both disaster movies. They're both based on a comet or meteor hitting the Earth. And just the other day...
Did a comet meteor hit?
No, but Harvard researchers published a paper called Breakup of a Long Period Comet as the Origin of the Dinosaur Extinction by Amir Siraj and Abraham Loeb, published on the 15th. And they now theorize that rather than an asteroid that landed in Mexico and irradiated the Earth and killed all the dinosaurs.
Aliens.
Instead, it was a comet. So it's really interesting that in either of these movies, unlike in a movie like Armageddon or Deep Impact or something where it was always asteroids, that both of these had come up with the idea of a comet or meteor prior to actual research being published that it could have been a celestial object smaller than an asteroid.
Could have been.
Or just a comet the same size, something made up of more of a gaseous frozen construction rather than pure rock kind of a thing. So that's something that's kind of interesting.
Definitely.
And in the paper...
Thank you, Mr. Data.
They kind of theorized, some of the scientists that had looked into this said it was probably a very beautiful sight, but very deadly. And in Greenland, they do show the skies lit up, and everyone's like, wow, it looks so cool and everything. But at the same time, cities are just being wiped off the face of the earth constantly. But it's a very attractive view but it's very deadly. So it's kind of a cool thing to see that is actual real research that's been published now
Dude,
since the release of
there
those
is real
movies.
research on everything you could imagine. Like sometimes when I go, I'll get online, it'll be like, new survey, new data. Doctors in somewhere discovered that not folding your clothes and injecting your eyeballs full of wine and coffee every day makes you and it's like, what are these studies? Everyone's studying something. How do we get on these studies, Jake? You and me, we're gonna go like study space rocks and how they affect like pretty lights in the sky. Like, let's be on those teams.
Okay,
We'll have Mars. New Mars rocks are coming.
Yeah, that's
Dude,
true. Yeah.
shout outs to the new Mars rover.
Well, hey, both us and the U.S. and
That's what
the
it is,
UAE now have spacecrafts that both arrived at Mars at about the same time. So that's kind of cool.
You remember when Bill Nye put a sundial on the other Mars rover because he liked sundials? Like, that's some major flex when you can be like, hey, I know I don't have any actual science degrees,
Yeah, you
but
remember
I'm
how
awesome.
Bill Nye's full of shit?
And he's like, but I'm real awesome and everybody
but
likes
he's
me.
cool.
Put a sundial on the Mars rover, and they're like, all right, Bill Nye. What, you don't like Bill Nye?
I watched Beakman's World, boy.
Dude, Beakman's World was okay, but Bill Nye was the real stuff. He was like, you know what? I'm not going to treat you like a kid. I'm going to treat you like science-learning young adults.
Look, bro, I'm
And then
gonna
he
still be your
flip-flops
friend.
and he changes his mind and he decides that science isn't science. And
Hey, I met Bill Nye, and he's all right.
he seems like a real asshole in every interview I've watched.
He kind of is.
I used to like Bill Nye quite a bit. But he's-
sometimes you got to be an asshole to let people know what's the real shit.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Be like, hey, dinglings out there still polluting and not recycling and doing all this stuff. I'm Bill Nye. Do the thing.
Like, y'all are idiots, is what he said. Yeah, you know.
well,
Beakman's World.
that Beakman's World was the best.
Get out of here with Beakman's.
Yeah, counterexample coming in. Thank
no,
you.
Who asked counterexample? That's a counterexample.
Oh, dude, Cosmic Crazy coming in too. Beatman's World, Pee Wee's Playhouse.
I'm a
We're in the world of Carmen Sandiego. That's what we're talking
Okay,
about. That's the good
all
stuff.
of those were good. I loved Carmen's.
Where in Time?
in the world
Yeah.
is Carmen Sandiego?
Dude, I watch that all the
And
time.
what was the name of
No,
the
it's like-
rockapella?
No, it did it like this, like, where in the world is...
Carmen Sandiego.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was, and then Pee Wee's Playhouse, dude. I loved Pee Wee's Playhouse, like big Pee Wee's Playhouse. Womp, 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 womp. Yeah, dude, I could sing the whole song. Gotta
Vince is calling us out right now.
No, everything in the 90s doesn't suck.
It's gonna be that kind
Most
of
of it did.
morning. We're getting wacky at Pee Wee's Playhouse.
Got Harley Quinn over here on the microphone.
Dr. J. Vince says, don't you guys also say everything in the 90s sucked? No, you're watching. Are you cheating on us with other podcasts, Vince?
He might be thinking of me instead
Yeah.
of us as a
But no,
collective.
Jake hates everything, so there's that. But, you know,
That's not true. Johnny said something about he would rather watch Goofy movie than the movies I was reviewing, and he's absolutely right. I love Goofy movie. That's one of my favorites. It's the best.
Maxie? The
Yeah.
perfect cast. Yeah, no, that was bad.
I was singing Powerline in my car on the way
Here?
Yeah. Here, I'll show you.
you video.
Wait, what did you video stuff singing?
No, no.
Powerline?
I'll just show you what.
No, if you did, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's right there. Just hit play. I mean, before we get our license taken away.
It's your phone's not working.
Double
I
Dare
turned the
Legend.
volume off for the show.
Were you just? Oh, he was totally jamming out to Powerline. I mean, it is a hot jam.
I never don't listen to Powerline.
Well, that explains a lot.
Like you didn't already know this, bro.
David says, Mecca Lecca High, Mecca Hiney Ho. That is Jombies magic words from Pee Wee's Playhouse. Kaz says, Double Dare Legend of the Hidden Temple. Dude, Olmec was a scary SOB. Like, if you think about Legends of the Hidden Temple, that is the scariest thing. They're like, we're going to send these children into this, like, temple, and if they don't have idols, the two pieces of the idols, then a grown-ass man dressed as, like, some tribal, like,
What was
cancel
the show
culture
that was-
appropriation is going to grab you by the privates and take you out.
What was the
wait.
show that was like Legends of the Hidden Temple but better
What?
with the Super Crag?
Oh, Guts?
Yeah, Guts was better.
No, it was
Guts
the
was
aggro
jam.
crag.
Yeah.
God. Yeah, what were you saying there, Jake? Or Dave? Grab him by the pirate.
I didn't remember that part of the show.
Well, no, because the big adult person would come and grab this child like from behind,
like the guys in
like
Takeshi's
just
Castle.
grab him like this and just get him out of there. And it was a little uncomfortable. And
Was it
Nick
like-
Arcade,
I
where
could
they
see
like
that.
be in the video game, and it was like the lamest green screen technology.
Was
on
it like the
face
guys
of the
in the
planet.
castle in
Johnny.
Takeshi's Castle where they have to go through the different doors in the?
Yeah, Takeshi's Castle, if you've only seen Most Extreme Elimination Challenge, MXC, you've never actually fully watched Takeshi's Castle, and Takeshi's Castle is a superior game show because, A, beat Takeshi. Takeshi Kitano is one of the greatest comedic minds of our generation, or anyone's generation for that matter. He's amazing. But that show was the best live. It was American Ninja Warrior meets Guts, meets American Gladiators, meets everything. Everything came from Takeshi's Castle, and nobody in America has seen a full episode because you can't win Takeshi's Castle. That's what's hilarious. You get all the way up. It's hundreds of people, and then they finally get to like 2 people, and they're in a cart trying to assault Takeshi's Castle. I watched it first in Germany.
It changes for every season. The way that
so
the
good.
show ends changes every season. Vince says that he wants to call me Amorica for this episode. We need to look it up. I just looked it up, and if you're saying that I'm like a crotch in a American flag mankini, I'll take it. I'm not gonna be upset about that.
Johnny says he told his wife to play American Gladiators theme at the funeral. Well, how's it go?
I can't believe
with turbo and laser in the atmosphere.
Can't believe you remember that. I cannot.
Dude, I'm telling you, my brain and jingles and
I used to watch it, but I don't.
Yeah.
I couldn't sing the song.
dude, yeah, and then the tennis ball gun where you're like,
No, that was fucking cool.
Like, yeah,
That's
I
cool
was-
shit. I would love to have
That was
that.
the exact noise that those things made.
Blues Clues.
all right, we are so over time, you guys. We're like 15 minutes over time.
Well, we
got
had to pack in.
Yeah, we got to wrap it up. But thanks, guys, for joining us. This has been a really fun show. Always fun having you guys joining us and guiding the show out of control. We love it. Like and subscribe, Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. You can get the audio version of this wherever you get your MP3 podcasts. Or do even people know that they're MP3s anymore, or they just think podcasts?
I don't know.
Nobody
what that
even
is.
knows.
Yeah.
But thanks for tuning in. We'll see you guys next week. Like, subscribe. Thanks, Dave Calhoun, for joining us again this week, for coming up here working on some sets. I, as always, am the boom operator.
I'm the grip.
And we will see you guys next week.
What is that?